Microsoft just confirmed Project Helix, the next Xbox, and it's basically a console that can run PC games too. This could be the moment Xbox stops being a console and turns into a living room PC with a corporate logo taped on. Microsoft just dropped one of those announcements that sounds exciting. Until you translate it into human language. I promise there's a real human behind the mic, mostly because an AI would probably have a much better sense of reading this than I do, in normal person terms. Asha Sharma, the new Microsoft gaming boss, who took over after Phil Spencer stepped aside, went on social media and straight up confirmed the codename Project Helix. And she didn't confirm it like some vague, "we're exploring the future" nonsense. She attached the money line. It'll play your Xbox and PC games. That sentence is either the best thing that's happened to Xbox fans in a decade, or the beginning of the end. Pick your poison. Because the second you say PC games, you've just lit the console identity on fire. Instant question, are you buying an Xbox or are you buying a Windows box wearing an Xbox Halloween costume? Fun, right? Now context before the nerd details, so nobody gets lost. Microsoft has been doing this, everything is an Xbox routine for years. Consoles, PCs, cloud, fridges, smart toasters, your grandma's pacemaker, whatever. The vibe has been platform, not plastic. Project Helix flips that vibe into something weirder. Plastic that acts like platform. Why would they do this? Easy. Console wars are expensive. Making custom hardware is expensive. Convincing studios to optimize specifically for your box is expensive. So Microsoft's like, what if we stop being a console maker and become a boutique PC maker with a controller? Corporate innovation, baby. Same salad, new bowl. Sharma is also doing the classic new leader, new era theater. She's fresh in the seat, officially named in late February, and Helix is already her big statement piece. She's pitching it as a return to Xbox energy, that renegade, original Xbox spirit kind of talk. Problem is that fans here return to roots, then see Windows layer, and start smelling printer driver bloat from 3 rooms away. GDC is where this gets weaponized. Microsoft's got GDC 2026 lined up with official sessions, including a Jason Ronald keynote about building for the future with Xbox. So yeah, this isn't a rumor floating in a Discord sewer. This is Microsoft teeing up a full dev-facing pitch. The machine is moving. Now let's hit the big hook because this is the part that makes people's eyes go wide. Helix reportedly runs Xbox and PC games natively. The likely method being some kind of console mode, Windows full screen layer, which is basically Windows wearing sunglasses and pretending it's not Windows. That sounds clean in a marketing slide. Real life is where the chaos lives. You know what else tried PC in the living room? Steam machines. Exactly. You remember them the way you remember Google+, you don't. So, when people say Steam on Xbox, it's not a meme anymore. If Helix is genuinely running PC games, then Steam, Epic, Battle.net, suddenly, the living room becomes a launcher zoo. That's exciting and also hilarious because Microsoft's Xbox store becomes the third wheel on its own device. Imagine selling a console that makes it easier to buy games from your competitors. That's either brave or deeply unemployed behavior. Legal and money implications get spicy fast. Microsoft wants store revenue. That's the whole point of a closed ecosystem. Open it too much and the Xbox store starts looking like the Windows Phone store of Helix. Here's where the skeptical angle punches you in the face. A console is defined by being closed and predictable. One box, one target, one simple experience. A PC console hybrid is defined by compromise, drivers, background processes, settings, menus, launcher updates, that one random crash because something called Gaming Services Helper X decided to eat itself, engineering nightmare. Oh, we're not even warmed up, because rumors are already swirling about high-end specs, Zen 6 CPU and RDNA 5 GPU territory, and that means big power, big heat, big cost. Unified memory challenges alone can turn console simplicity into PC troubleshooting night. And Windows background tasks on a console mode device. That's the kind of sentence that makes firmware engineers stare into the void. You want Helix to feel invisible. Consoles win because you press power and you're playing. If Helix ever feels like, hold on, Windows is updating, you're cooked. Nobody wants their gaming night held hostage by a feature update named after a mountain. Now the price rumors, oh boy. Insiders and hardware talkers are already floating $900 to $1,200. That's not a console price. That's my rent just looked at me funny price. Who is this for? Because consoles historically survive by staying under the pain threshold. Parents buy them. Casual players buy them. Normal humans buy them. A 4-figure Xbox is not a Christmas gift. It's a mortgage conversation. Microsoft seems to be gambling on the enthusiast crowd. The average Joe goes where things are cheap and simple. That's Sony and Nintendo territory. Meanwhile, Microsoft walks into the enthusiast market and gets immediately compared to GPUs, pre-built PCs, and whatever Valve is cooking next. And you know what makes this extra comedic? The global memory situation has been a mess. DRAM and NAND pricing has been volatile, with shortages and price spikes rolling through 2025 and into 26. So if Helix needs big unified memory to do the console plus PC dream cleanly, component costs will punch the price tag in the throat. That's how your 900 rumor becomes first 200, then becomes available in select markets. Good luck. Now let's pivot to the optimistic angle for a second, because credit where it's due, the value proposition could be insane. If Microsoft can bulk buy parts and integrate CPU-GPU motherboard like a console does, Helix might become the most cost-effective way to get high-end PC performance in one box. The dream pitch writes itself. You can't build this PC for this price. That would slap, especially while DI builders are getting bullied by RAM pricing. So is Helix the savior of mid-range PC gaming? Maybe. If Microsoft nails the software experience and doesn't ship it with the personality of a broken Dell update utility. Now the identity crisis, because this is where Xbox fans start sweating. If the console is basically a PC, then Xbox exclusive becomes a weird phrase. Exclusive turns into ecosystem exclusive, meaning it's available on Xbox and Windows, which is not exclusive. That's just branding gymnastics. Physical media gets questioned too. Disk drive or no disk drive? Nobody knows yet. If it ships without a drive, that's another brick in the wall. Digital-only, store-focused, subscription-friendly. And if it does ship with a drive, how does that play with PC games? Are you installing Steam from a Blu-ray? Congrats, it's 2004 again. A normal console launches with a lineup. A PC platform launches with everything. If Helix truly runs PC games, day one could mean access to a massive existing PC library. That's not buy a platform for 5 exclusives. That's buy a platform for tens of thousands of games. That's the kind of pitch that makes Sony executives start stress-eating spreadsheets. Speaking of Sony, the contrast is getting sharper by the week. Reports say PlayStation is pulling back from big single-player PC ports, leaning harder into the traditional buy-the-box for the exclusive strategy. Microsoft is doing the opposite, merging console and PC harder than ever. That's a massive divergence. This could be the most split console generation since Nintendo pulled the Wii move, and everyone else stood there like, wait, what? Which strategy wins? Sony bets on ease and exclusives. Microsoft bets on openness and power. One side sells a clean experience. The other side sells a kitchen sink with RGB. Now the human angle, because not everyone wants a kitchen sink. Hardcore Xbox purists exist. Those people remember the 360 era like it was a golden age. They want a game console. Plug in, play. No Windows bloat, no launcher juggling. No sign into your Microsoft account again, because reasons. Those fans are looking at Helix and hearing, congrats, your console is now a Surface gaming PC. And it feels like abandonment because Xbox keeps chasing new audiences while the loyal crowd keeps getting told to adapt. Corporate brain loves everything to everyone. Reality loves pick a lane. Trying to be console and PC and storefront, an open ecosystem, can end with you being nothing special. Now let's zoom out because history is doing that fun rhyming thing. The original Xbox was basically a PC under the hood. People called it the Direct Xbox for a reason. Helix feels like that concept coming full circle, except now Microsoft has the Windows ecosystem to fuse it properly. So in a weird way, this is Xbox returning to its DNA just with 25 years of corporate baggage strapped to it like a cursed backpack. So, is Helix the last console? Analysts are already floating the idea that if this fails, Microsoft might be done making traditional Xbox hardware. That's not me doom posting. That's the industry reading the room. Hardware is hard, margins are thin, and Microsoft loves recurring revenue more than oxygen. So, Helix feels like a bet with two possible outcomes. Outcome 1. Microsoft sticks the landing. Console mode is slick. Updates are invisible. Games run clean. Steam and Xbox coexist without turning the UI into a trash fire. That becomes the Steam machine done right 12 years late and somehow still early. Outcome 2. Windows bleeds through the mask. Settings are messy. Performance is inconsistent. The pitch becomes it's basically a PC and everybody responds cool, I already have one. That's how you end up with a premium box that sells to enthusiasts only while the mass market buys the simpler competitor. And that brings us back to Sharma, because Helix is her first defining move. Her background leans platform growth and big corporate strategy, not old school console wars. So this is a new console announcement. This is a restructuring of what Xbox even means. Xbox might not be trying to beat PlayStation anymore. Xbox might be trying to exit the race and sell you a different sport. If Helix is real and the pitch holds, then console war turns into ecosystem war. Sony sells a box. Nintendo sells a vibe. Microsoft sells access. That's the most Microsoft thing ever. Stop fighting on the battlefield, buy the land under the battlefield, then charge rent. So yeah, Project Helix is either genius or the most expensive identity crisis in gaming. Either way, you're going to hear about it non-stop at GDC this week, because Microsoft is about to put this thing on a stage and dare the industry to blink. And if your buddy says, bro, it sounds kinda cool, just nod and hit them with the truth. Cool doesn't matter if it costs $1,000 and boots into Windows vibes.